I messed up. Welcome to Warp Legacy. So yesterday, I released a video where I made these little keychains for my patrons. Now, that video was not as it seemed. It was very carefully edited and crafted to make it look like I knew what I was doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Those were not the first attempt to make the keychains. The forge didn't even light on the first attempt to light the forge. If I had a different outlook, the entire day could have been a horrible day. So I got up in the morning, did my morning thing, got ready, got breakfast, got out in the shop. And I hadn't been out in the shop to actually use the shop for a long time. I've been out in there to grab tools or to put tools back, but when I'm not actively using it, the shop just slowly gets more cluttered. Because I'll go out and grab a tool and then just go put it back on my work table instead of putting it back where it goes. Then I'll go out to do something and more stuff will end up on my work table. And then I'll need a hammer for something and I'll go grab it and I'll pull it somewhere else. So I didn't even have the hammers that I usually use when I was out there. And I'm not 100% sure where they actually are. They're still around. Actually, they're probably still in the trunk of my car. So spent the time getting the shop ready so I could actually use the shop. Cleaned out the forge. Decided I wanted to start with some fresh coal because it's just nice to do that sometimes. Got some fresh coal. Threw it in there. It was soaking wet because it's outside, which has never been a problem for me in the past, but this time I go to light my forge, get some good flames coming off the charcoal, cover it with the wet coal, turn my blower up a little bit. It's glowing underneath, it's getting hot, it's steaming. Looks like it's going to be good. So I walk over to the other side of the shop and start getting things around and ready to go. Get my touch mark over by the anvil, get my cutoff tool over by the anvil, getting the hammers that I'm going to use over by the anvil, getting my little post set up so when I'm done with the fire I can move my camera and put it on the anvil, doing all that kind of stuff, getting it ready. Get all that done, go back over to the fire, and there is one tiny piece of charcoal about this big all the way in the bottom that's like half glowing, and all the rest of the charcoal had already just burned off and none of the coal was lit. So I had to start from scratch with my fire. Pulled it all off to the side, got a new handful of charcoal, threw it in there, got that lit, got the flames going good, got it covered up again. This time it was gonna light because the coal had been dried by the first bit of charcoal. Alright, fire's hot, my workstation's set up, let's get to forging something. I grab my chunk of stock and I go over there and I had something in my head and I was gonna flatten out the end, and as I was at the end I decided, it might be cool if I kind of fishtailed this thing out. So I flipped over my hammer and started fishtailing the end with my cross peen. And I went, that looks kind of cool. So I'm hitting it, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I end up kind of turning it into this thing that looks kind of like a shoehorn. And I was like, nah, I don't want that. So I flattened it back out and went, okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to get my touch mark on there, grab my touch mark, stuck it on there, and then grabbed a little tiny hammer and just barely hit it. And I go, oh, yeah, that's not going to work. Barely left a mark in the metal. So stupid me, I just stick it on there and hit it again and make like 3 different marks.
You see, I already know better than that.
So I screwed it up, so then I get my hammer back out and just hit it flat. Hammer it down until you can't see the touch mark anymore. And then get my big hammer that I have around specifically to put my touch mark in. Put the touch mark in, get it ready, cut it off. And then I don't have a pair of tongs that I can hold this and work on it at the same time. I can either hold it secure, where that's sticking out of the tongs, or this is all that's sticking out of the tongs. I could put it this way, but I already worked on that part. But I could not hold it like this, so I could actually work on this section. Tried a few different times, finally gave up on that, and started a new one. This time, I did it the other direction. I did the taper and the scroll first while it was still connected to the long bar. So I did the taper, did the scroll, got it up, went over to the vise to put a twist in it, and I twisted my work right off the end.
Again, I already know better.
So I take the stock I have left, smash the end back down square, and start over. And then I whip these things out actually pretty quick after all of that. The point is, even with all those failures, yesterday was a great productive day. And the only reason it was great and productive is because I didn't let the failure stop me. Something a lot of people have an issue with is when someone fails, they take that and make it something defining about themselves, which it's not. Everybody makes mistakes. Do not define yourself by your mistakes. Use your mistakes to learn, even if you make the same mistake over and over again. Even if it's a mistake you've already made a long time ago and you just forgot about it and now you're doing it again. Get your butt up off the ground and continue. Yesterday was a great day. A big part of why yesterday was a great day is because we had 365 subscribers, and I talked about that in the last video. Well, now we're up to, actually, let me go check, because it goes up like by the hour or minute sometimes. Sorry about that. I'm still kind of in shock. One of my patrons just changed from my lowest pledging patron to my highest pledging patron. So, thank you! Now I gotta figure out where it was. I was checking my sub count. The sub count is 382. Woo! I don't remember what I have recorded, so don't let your failures define you. It's stupid to do that. Don't let your failures define you. Your failures do not define you. What you do after your failures define you. And I've already said this to you in other videos. Get off your butt and continue after a failure. That's the only way to move forward. Otherwise, you just get stuck. Don't get stuck. We are at 382 subscribers. We've gone up almost 100 subscribers in less than a week. You guys all rock. Keep getting the word out there. Keep watching the videos. Thank you so much to everyone, especially these patrons. I wasn't going to put them in this video, but I'm still in shock about my patrons right now. They're epic. I almost closed the video without doing my outro. Thank you for visiting Warped Legacy. If you like this video, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. And if you haven't done yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bells for notification. And if you like what we're doing here at Warped Legacy, head on over to our Patreon page and show us some support there. Until next time, I'm Twan. Go define your legacy. Woo! It's just root beer. I don't know why I put it in that bottle. Now it's 384 subscribers.